of February, Black History Month, we're going to take a segment out of each show, sharing with y'all, sharing with the audience, Black history moments in sports that many fans do not know. So we're not going to get the Jesse Owens. We're not going to get the Jackie Robinsons. We're not going to get the Hank Aaron's. We know most people know that.
Yeah.
I want to touch on, and I know you're going to touch on as well, and some guests we're going to bring during this month, like our guys from last week, for example. We're all going to touch on and share Black history pioneers in sports who people do not know about. So I got my two. I know you got your two.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share mine right quick. You can share yours. The first African American drafted to the NBA, Chuck Cooper. Like I saw, I saw what was really cool last night. Duquesne University, where he played. They were I think they were ESPN or ESPN2, one of them. But anyway, they dedicated a new arena on campus, and they named it after him. And so what the coolest thing what ESPN did was that they came back after commercial break, surely like maybe 10 minutes or so after the opening tip, and shared the story of Chuck Cooper, which I thought was really, really, really cool. So that's one. So I want people to know out there about Chuck Cooper, the first African American to be drafted in the NBA.
Yes. Oddly enough, here's another bonus for you.
Yep.
Chuck Cooper also attended the HBCU before he ended up at Duquesne. He played a year at West Virginia State.
There you go. Another nil on Black history. So we're synergy, man. I like this. So yeah. So Chuck Cooper, and also there is an article that I posted to my to my Facebook fan page. It's about the first all-black starting line in Canada hockey history, college hockey history. And it's at St. Mary's University in February 1970, where you started Bob Dawson, Percy Paris, and Daryl Maxwell. And they were recently honored not that long ago, actually. So, but it's on NHL.com's website. And basically it's never been done at that point. So it is a game against Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick. So again, that's St. Mary's University, all black forward line on the ice in the hockey game, February 1970. Bob Dawson, Percy Paris, and Daryl Maxwell. And that is my contribution to the first in the series of Black history pioneers in sports for the evening. So I know you got your two as well. So I'll let you have the floor.
Yes. First and foremost, I'm going to start with the homie, Al Adams, aka the Destroyer.
Yes, Al Adams. Great.
Yes, NBA basketball Hall of Famer. Got his number retired at North Carolina A&T State University a couple of seasons ago. Not only, of course, is he an alum of North Carolina A&T, our alma mater, he also played in the NBA with the then in Philadelphia, which eventually became the San Francisco and Golden State Warriors. Now, for those that don't know, Al Adams is the second African-American head coach to win an NBA title. He did that in 1974-75 against the then Baltimore Bullets. Like I said, he's the second to do it. He was a player coach at the time. Also, the first player coach, the first African-American to do it, was also a player coach, one Bill Russell. So, yes, the second guy to do it all time is an HBCU alum. And, of course, not only he had, at least a 40, 50-year career with the Golden State Warriors, because not only was he a player, he moved his way up into the front office as well. There where I think he still has some sort of role there in Golden State. But yeah, he's been in Golden State and hasn't left that organization the entire part of his NBA career. So that's my first one for this week. The second one, of course, goes to a gentleman who just recently passed away, unfortunately won John Taney.
Yes.
Now, of course, a lot of people are familiar with John Taney and his time at Temple University, coaching in the A-10 against the likes of UMass and Rhode Island. But before all of that, John Taney, who is from Jacksonville, Florida, who eventually ended up moving up to Philadelphia, attended college at Bethune-Cookman College,
correct,
where he played guard there. And of course, after graduating from there, he would eventually become a head coach. Like I said before, we mostly know him for his time at Temple. But before he was at Temple, he coached at Taney State in Philadelphia for 10 seasons, from 72 to 82.
Was he there at the same time as Vivian Stringer when she coached women?
Yes,
that's
he
what
was.
I thought. Yes, that's what I thought.
And during that time there, Taney won a national championship in 1978, where he went on to win, have a record of 232 and 56 during his 10-year time frame there. So that dude basically had a record of 23-5 every year. He was there at Taney State before eventually going on to Temple. So yeah, I wanted to go ahead and pay homage to the OG. They talk about the pillars of African American head coaching as it pertains to college basketball. We lost two giants, John Thompson late last year, and now just John Taney this past weekend. So I want to go ahead and pay homage to him and most definitely bring to light his HBCU past before he went on to become. Same thing with Vivian Stringer, who won a national title at Taney State as well during her time there before she went on to do the things that she did later on in her career. So yeah, I wanted to go ahead and talk about Taney and Al Adams. So I did basketball. I was going to cheat and do Doug Williams because, of course, the 33rd anniversary of him winning the Super Bowl was just on the 31st. And, of course, I still mark that as one of my all-time favorite, if not the all-time favorite moment in sports history for me to see Doug. I remember
my dad right quick about Doug Williams. We watched the Super Bowl, and he was a Washington fan before he passed. But I remember sitting there with them. I was never a fan of Elway's Broncos, even though I was an AFC guy. So I remember sitting watching my dad, and I remember when y'all went down 10-0.
Yeah,
and Doug Williams got hurt. And before they brought in Jay Schroeder for like a quick minute. And then Doug Williams went back out there, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
Touchdown pass, a couple of Timmy Smith big runs here and there, but touchdown pass after touchdown pass. Never seen my dad so happy. I've never seen my dad so happy. I mean, mind you, I watched the Super Bowl before that where y'all's team beat Miami. We were both little kids then, obviously, but I remember. But even watching after watching that would be y'all's first Super Bowl victory. I've never seen my dad as happy as he was because he saw Doug Williams get some shine. That was the happiest I ever seen him watching any type of sporting event. This is like years and years of watching sports with them. And everything else. That was the happiest I've seen him. And it's not even close. And I'll forever remember that. Right quick about Al Adams. I think you may have mentioned this. He was a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
He was a Hall of Famer in death of 2019. But I want to share with you just right quick before we get to our random shit segment. I remember as far as John Chaney is concerned, as great as a coach he was great. He was awesome. My favorite moment of his was when he crashed the press conference of one John Calipari.
Yes,
when he was at UMass. Back when A-10 basketball was it, and back when Temple and UMass was real. It was a real rivalry. Back then, John Calipari, we all know, but those are the younger folks out there who know him from UK and maybe Memphis before that. That's where he got his really big start as far as D1 level basketball. And so that was in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And so that's back before that. John Chaney's Temple Owls ruled the A10, the Atlanta 10.
Mm-hmm.
So here comes UMass and this cocky Italian dude from Pittsburgh coming up there, blowing up the spot, rattling the cages of John Chaney, and really challenging him.
Yeah.
He really challenged Chaney. Again, Temple and UMass was a real rivalry. And so it was a real rivalry. And so it culminated, the boiling point came, I think was it UMass beat them? And then what's his name? Calipari I think it was bitching about the treatment, preferential treatment to Chaney or whoever it was. And then Chaney, having to be around, sorted in, was talking shit from the back. Calipari, who's not known to back down from anyone, talked his shit back. And before you know it, John Taney takes his old ass up there to the podium. Granted, he wasn't but so, yeah, he was a little bit older than Calipari, obviously. So just hurried up there. Here comes Calipari down from there, about to literally throw blows at each other.
Yes.
Literally about to throw blows at each other. And we're ending with Chaney yelling, "I will kill you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your ass." And then Calipari pointed at him. On top of that, people get members of the press and coaches getting in between them. That was classic. And what was the coolest thing about that, right quick, is that Calipari recounted the whole thing on Twitter, I think a couple of days ago. It's like it's funny that they became good friends years after that. And so he was able to recount that moment. He gets a good laugh about it now. So
it's hilarious.
It was classic.
Yes, that's the sad thing, because there are a lot of people who look down on Chaney because of that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's like that and the perceived way that he treated his players, even though his players loved him.
Yes.
His players loved
Well, he called himself the Black Knight for Bobby Knight when Bobby Knight had all that trouble, and then John Chaney came to his defense. He said, I do the same thing. Yeah. They call me the Black Knight because I do the same thing to my players. But yeah, go ahead.
And see, that's the thing, and that's the one thing that a lot of these players will tell you, that was kind of like one of the responsibilities of head coaches, not just in college basketball, but in college football as well. Mm-hmm. Not just at PWIs, but at HBCUs as well.
Right.
They not only were their coaches, they were father figures to these guys. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they had to be tough on them because they had to prepare them not only for basketball, but for life.
Yeah.
So they taught them, not just lessons on the court, but life lessons that stuck with these guys to this day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a tough love aspect. And to a lot of guys, they were like fathers to them. And they loved them for that.
Oh, they love Chaney. These players love Chaney.
And like I said, you had that history and that knowledge that came down from the likes of Thompson and Taney and those before him, Big House Gaines and McClendon, that will pass down to the current guys, especially those that are on the HBCU level, like Lavelle Moulton over at North Carolina Central and Will Jones at North Carolina A&T has probably gotten a little bit from those that have been surrounded by Corbett. So yeah, there's a lot of, and when Al probably has given them,
I'm sure he was like
as
that.
Well. Yeah, so it's just the whole lineage of how not only just to win, but to have these young men win at life, and it's something that these guys will cherish for the rest of their lives.
Well said.